You know, there's something magical about having physical music, something you can hold in your hand. It's not just an album, it's like a journey waiting to be unfolded. In a world where a click suffices, the allure of sliding out a CD or feeling the weight of a vinyl is a tactile connection to the artist's soul. It's not just about the melody, it's about the experience. But just how well does this form of physical media hold up today? Everyone loves vinyl. Enthusiasts argue that the analog sound is warmer, richer, and more authentic. And vinyl absolutely nails that vintage aesthetic that people love so much, even 76 years after its invention. And what's there to say about music streaming that hasn't already been said? The convenience and accessibility of music streaming is just unmatched. In a matter of seconds, you have access to millions of songs and albums in the palm of your hand. Couple that with the ability to play your music wirelessly via Bluetooth onto a speaker or your headphones, it's not very difficult to see why music streaming has come out on top. But what about the middle child of music? What about CDs? How well do these guys hold up today amongst the juggernauts of Spotify and Apple Music and the nostalgic and beloved vinyl? In today's video, I'm going to replace my Spotify service with only CDs. And we're going to find out just how well the CD does in modern day. Can CDs make a comeback and possibly receive the same love that vinyls now have? Or are we just too far gone with the convenience of digital music streaming service? Let's find out. So there I was, off to go find my old CD collection, which I knew was somewhere in this house. I eventually found my copy of Paramore's Brand New Eyes, which was actually still in the plastic wrap. After doing a little more digging, I found a few more CDs which were also still in the plastic wrap. And I think that just goes to show how I didn't really use CDs to listen to music growing up. So with all that said, let's go buy some CDs. I ended up going to this record store called Rolling Stones, and it's kind of the coolest record store I've ever been to. I didn't go in with a plan on which albums to buy, so it's a good thing they had plenty to choose from. After browsing for a bit, I ended up choosing Mac Miller's Circles, Kanye's 808 Heartbreak, and the Ramones' Road to Ruins. I know not all record stores are as flashy as this one, but I gotta say I really enjoyed just going into the store and browsing for albums just aimlessly and just picking something out. I feel like that's an experience we've kind of lost ever since we switched to music streaming as our primary way of listening to music. So I'm really glad I got to experience this. However, it is kind of expensive. Forest Hill Drives, $14.99. The Blue Carpet Treatment, $13.99. And I'm definitely not paying $7.99 for the best of R. Kelly. So yeah, it really isn't cost effective to switch from streaming music to physical CDs, but hey, at least you get to own your music. So now that I have my CDs, I was super excited to get started, only to realize I don't really have a way to listen to these guys. So I hit up my buddy Lester. Yo Lester, can I borrow a CD player?
Yeah, it's like one of those boombox CD players though.
Yeah, that should be fine, as long as that shit sounds fire.
Straight fire.
Alright, bet.
Yeah, but you gotta meet me in the northwest side of the Brickyard parking lot. Come alone.
So, I met him up, got the boombox. Thank you, Lester.
Yeah.
It's been nice doing business with you. And headed home to finally be able to listen to the CDs that I got. Okay, this is a part in the video where I feel like I might start to get judged a little bit, just because instinctually, I don't really know how to make this work. I plugged it in. Is it on? I got the radio to work. I found the CD player. The first CD I decided to listen to was the debut album of my first favorite band, Paramore's All We Know Is Falling. Honestly, it was really nice just sitting and absorbing the album as I listened to it, because listening to music is something that I usually do alongside another activity. I think I discovered one of the first little quirks of using actual CDs. Just the technology around it. Like, watch this. If the stereo gets bumped even a little bit, the music stops, which is like, you really think about stuff like that because all the music today is just digital. If someone bumps your phone, unless the Bluetooth disconnects, it's gonna be fine, you know? Giving the CD my undivided attention led to a really cathartic listening experience. It was also just super nostalgic listening to the first album of my first favorite band via CD. It was also refreshing listening to an album song by song in order, the way it was intended to be listened to. Listening to music is something I mostly do when I'm out and about and doing errands. The combination of Spotify and a pair of AirPods creates this level of convenience that's just really hard to beat. So, what was the comparable experience to that before these two guys even existed? Well, people used to use this. I finally had my little collection of CDs, but if I really want to be out and about listening to music, this guy is really my only option, this portable CD player. Okay, so I just had my first example of how having this type of technology is a little dated in the sense that it's just really hard to get unused to not having an all-in-one device. Not because I need it all in one, it's just about the convenience of having just one device. Like, for example, in this clip, we're walking and my dog just starts pooping and I have one hand occupied with this, and I already have my phone in my pocket. It's kind of big and bulky. I had to put it down on the ground, to be able to clean up. So yeah, just a little inconvenience. It's just one of those things where it'd be nice if everything was just on my phone, which it is today. Thank you, technology. We are at the end of our walk, and I spent the majority of the time listening to Mac Miller Circles on the CD player. And honestly, it was kind of nice having a device solely dedicated to music, because sometimes when I have my AirPods, I do get a bunch of distracting notifications, and you don't really get that with this. I can't really tell too much of a difference between digital audio and the CD player. It does sound a little different, but I can't really speak to it that much. I wouldn't say it sounds richer or anything, it just sounds different. Also, one thing I really like about listening to CDs is that I've actually listened to entire albums. I am not an album person, I'll just listen to specific songs I like. But because listening to a whole album is really my only option, I listen to the whole thing, and that's kind of been nice. It's been opening up my eyes to a lot of songs I've never even heard. Back when CDs were the primary way to listen to music, one of the ways they were most listened to was in a car. On today's car ride, we're listening to the CD of Kanye's 808s and Heartbreak. I'm definitely more of the type of person who just listens to specific songs from albums rather than albums in their entirety. I did end up listening to this album almost 3 times in a row because swapping CDs mid-ride just isn't the easiest, especially when your other CDs fall off the passenger seat onto the floor. But because I repeatedly listened to the album, I feel like I really got to enjoy it the way it was meant to be enjoyed. For example, this album has a lot of really good transitions between tracks, and that's something I would have never otherwise noticed. And I feel like I really got to appreciate it the more times I listened to the album in its entirety. So, do CDs hold up well today? In the time that I've had with them, I would say I still greatly prefer Spotify. The convenience and accessibility of music streaming is just really hard to beat. But don't get me wrong, using CDs definitely have some merit to it. For one, it feels really good owning your physical media. There's definitely a growing appreciation I have for albums the more I just listen to them in their entirety. I know this video is supposed to be about listening to CD and the medium, but the biggest thing that I'm gaining out of this is just how good it is to listen to a whole album in its entirety. Hey Maggie. You want to go on a walk and listen to music? If that's a yes, say nothing.